Hi, I'm Mmabatho Mokiti. Well, most people know me as Bato, and I'm a mathematician turned impact entrepreneur. And I really co-own and run a company called Mathemaniacs, Crazy About Maths, which focuses on maths and science education through private tutoring, camps, and designing CSI programs for corporates. And right now, I'm here at AIMS to give a lecture on the business of mathematics. So let's check it out. I'm actually a mathematician turned into an impact entrepreneur. So just to rewind, and then I'll get back to how I got here and everything. I probably started off as every one of you here. I was a young girl. I actually was born and bred in Johannesburg in a township called Soweto, and I grew up there. And I've always had an interest in numbers, but I've also had an interest in money. I've loved money from the first day I can remember. I remember growing up, my grandfather was also an entrepreneur. So every afternoon, what he'd do is that he'd count all his makings from the day, and I'd sit there and I'd write what he made every day, and I'd say, oh, okay, you made more, you made less today. And I just love the thought of just making your own money and having it there at that point. And I thought, okay, I really want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know what I'd do. So fast forward about 20 years later, no, not even actually, maybe about 15, 16 years later, I then went through university and I studied at UJ. Well, back then in my first year it was called RAU, the Rand Afrikaans University. And I studied a BSc. Initially I went into engineering. Loved engineering my first year. I did very well, but it wasn't for me. I'm really like a girly girl. I love pretty things, I love getting my nails done, I love matching outfits. And engineers are just not like that, you know? I hope there isn't an engineer somewhere here. Is there an engineer somewhere? I hope not. But engineers are just not like that, you know? So I was a girl who walked into class with a matching bag, which matched my outfit, and they'd say, what are you doing here? And I'd say, I'm here to study. But I remember one guy at the end of the year said, you won't make it till the end of the year. And I said, oh, really? Let's see. Come end of the year, I was like on honors roll, I was doing well, and where was he? So it really showed that it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And so in my second year, I loved maths, and I thought, okay, I'll switch to a BSc maths and chemistry. And then I started, at first I really loved chemistry. Maths, I just did it for the sake of doing it. But fast forward in my third year, I loved maths more than I loved chemistry. I just didn't like the lab coats in chemistry. I know, another fashion thing that just didn't work for me. So I just thought, why wear lab coats? I've got this fabulous outfit underneath, and no one can see it because I'm wearing a lab coat. So I thought, you know what, I love maths, so let me just stick to maths. And then that's how I ended up actually studying and majoring in maths. I finished that off, and then after school, I just didn't want to go into, I didn't know what career path I wanted to take. I don't know if any of you are in that state, and I loved education because I started tutoring in varsity just to make some extra money. But I knew I didn't want to be a teacher. That was just for sure. I didn't want to be a teacher. I knew I wanted to make big bucks, but I didn't want to go into a normal 9 to 5. So I sat and I thought, how can I take this tutoring to another level? I then quit my job and I started my own tutoring company. But the difference was that the one I used to work in was in a center. I customized mine. I said, why not make it customized for our students, that our tutors get to go to the students instead of them having to drive out to us. That means their parents don't have to fetch them, they don't have to be stuck in traffic, and it's more convenient in that way. They can just get to learn in their space of comfortability, rather. So then I started Mathemaniacs. I went off and I registered Mathemaniacs. I remember I had 500 Rand from my previous job, which was a tutoring job. Took that 500 Rand and I bought my own textbooks. Then I thought, I need students, right? I didn't have any. About a week later, one of my old students from the old company, and this is going to go up on YouTube now, my old boss knows, called me and said, I heard that you left, but can you teach me privately? And I said, yeah, why not? That was my first student. She then promoted me to 3 more. I had 4 students within about 2 weeks. And then I printed out flyers and I got all my cousins to go out to schools and we're handing out flyers. Then from those flyers I got I handed out 100 flyers, I only got 1 phone call. I was really, really disappointed. I felt really bad. I thought, I've done everything, I've done the marketing, so to say, and it's not working out. But that one student did so well that she then got me about 10 students. And remember at that point I was the only one, I didn't have any employees. So I was running around about 20 students in my afternoon. And so mornings I kept for myself to just sort of start the business, and afternoons, that's what I did. And then I got accepted actually into a social entrepreneurship course called Future Fit. So my group was the first group ever to get into it. And then I met up with a girl there who said to me, you know what, you have a great business idea. I think you should apply to get into this competition that we have at my work, and I think you'd do well. And I thought, oh, okay, why not? But I forgot about it, being the person I am. I was just concentrated on making money. I forgot about it. She called me that day and she said, the application's closed at 12 and I don't see your application. Please apply. So there I went online and I started applying. I applied and I sent it and I was like, okay, whatever, I've left it. And a week later I get a call and they say, oh, you've made it. You've made it through to top 10, so you're going to come to a workshop where we're going to explain the next stages of the competition. I went and there was like 9 other people. They all had brilliant ideas and I thought, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just a maths boff who's just here to do numbers. I'm not really a business person. Because I didn't take myself seriously at that point. After the workshop, we had to apply, we had to write a business plan. And a business plan is about 100 pages. I was never good at writing. I still hate writing till this day. I've gotten better over the years though, but I hated writing. And I thought, where am I going to start putting this business plan together? I started writing it bit by bit, and then the night before, I had to type it and put it all together. The competition closed at 8 a.m. the next day. I literally closed my laptop at 5 a.m. And it was sent, it was done, and I remember I had a project the next day that I had to be at 7 at a school in Soweto where I was helping students to upgrade their marks for their matric results. So I finished it at 5, I closed my laptop and I thought, okay, you know what, I've done all I can, it's in God's hands. Literally I said that, I said, it's in God's hands, I've done all I can, I'm done. I went home, I went to the school, did my thing, and I came back. I think a week later I got a phone call that I actually made it to the top 5. And then we had to have a telephonic interview at that point. So the judges would all sit in on the interview and they'd listen and ask me some questions. And I thought, okay, I can do this, let's see. Come the day of the interview, they call me and I have bad reception. So I kept running up and down, and I was actually conducting a lesson with one of my students. So I kept running up and down the stairs at her house, trying to get a better reception. After that, I said to one of my friends, she asked me, oh, how was it? I was like, it sucked. I didn't do well. I just left it there. About 2 weeks later was the finals, and we had to come in at IBM and they had the whole ceremony. Anyways, fast forward, I was actually second in that competition. So from about 300 applications, I came second. I'd never written a business plan before. I didn't think my business was a feasible business and that it would do so well. But there was a lot of people who had an interest in it, and a lot of people said to me, you know what, it was really great. The only thing that you had to improve were your financials. I knew that. So that was great, and the winner actually by default forfeited the prize. But I was still second, I didn't come first. They didn't give me the first prize. I don't know why. But anyways, I came second, and that's where my business started. I started taking it really, really serious after that. I did everything to make it grow. From implementing my business plan to doing everything that I could do to just make it grow. But what happened is that during the social entrepreneurship course that I did called Future Fit, I actually met up with my other half, who's my business partner, Eslin, and we met up then, and we just started striking up a relationship. She owned an NPO called the Dad Fund. I had Mathemaniacs. And then she said to me, you know what, I really want you to join and help me on a project that I want to start called Dream Girls International Outreach and Mentoring Program. I'll explain it to you just later. And she said, I really think your expertise would be good in terms of what you know about education. Please help me with this program to start it up. I joined her and we really started working well together. But in all of that, everything was going well in my business, but I didn't know how to market my business. I really didn't have the knowledge to market it. So I kept asking Eslin, I said, do you have an intern to help me with my marketing? I really need to make my marketing go well. And then it turned out that she's actually a marketing graduate. And then she wanted to invest into a business. So she said to me, I actually want to invest in a business and I really like your business, so I want to buy shares off you. So I thought, oh gosh, somebody wants to buy shares from me? Okay, where do I even start? So I went and I got a mentor as my prize from business partners. Her name is Dr. Frances Wright. And she really, really helped take my business to another level. So she then helped me to get my business evaluated. And we got the value of the business evaluated. And then I went off to Ed and I said, okay, I'm selling you the business for this much. She then bought 25% stake from me. And we then became business partners. But from then, our business started growing more and more and more. We grew from like 20 students to, at one point we had 50 students, and we started employing university students to work for us. And that was great because we started having more and more people. The greatest part was that I didn't have to be at 10 places at once, but it was so good to know that I was here, say right now, talking to you guys, and I had 50 people or 30 people out there making money for us. And that's the type of business model I really wanted. I wanted to be in a position where I didn't have to go out and physically work for my money, but I could know that there were people out there making money for me. Then we got tutors, and they went out and they started tutoring for us. The money started pouring in, and I thought, wow, this is good. We're actually making good money. Then it so happened that we had a student who was doing very, very well, and her dad actually owned a mine. And the dad approached me and said, I actually want you to design an academy for me in a rural area in Zimbabwe called Wangi. And that's where that journey began. So then one afternoon in August, we, Ezen and I, packed our bags and we went to Wangi. For the first, I'd never been to Zimbabwe ever, and there I was in Vic Falls, in Wangi. Any of you from Zimbabwe here? Any of you been to Zimbabwe? No. So it was really a village, no electricity, nothing. And we were set with the task to start a maths and science academy. It was an adventurous, really, it's one of the best moments of my business career, my career period. Because we started putting everything together for the academy. But fast forward now is that we didn't really get a chance to start it up because there was just a lot of disagreements within it. I don't know if it was more political or anything else, but it had to be put on hold. But that alone got my career on another level. In that year, in 2012, I got a chance to go to Russia to represent South Africa in a youth summit where we were camping in the middle of nowhere in Russia. But that really opened me up to so many other opportunities that I had for myself as well. That then started, and I went to Russia, and it was really a great experience. I came back and we started looking at our business in another way. I started thinking that instead of us aiming for students, we could go for corporates, because corporates started liking what we did, corporates in the government. And that's where you make your biggest profits, is in corporate and government, actually. If you're going to start a business, corporate and business and government is where you make your biggest money. So that's what we went. We started putting together programs for corporate. So we then moved away from private tutoring to camps. We do camps, holiday camps for students, where corporates, Telkom's one of our clients, where they have a foundation where they take kids out of disadvantaged schools and they put them in private schools. So we then put together a holiday program for them. We started having camps, we started doing learner and educator programs, support programs. One of our clients was Merrill Lynch. I don't know if you've heard of them, it's an American bank. So they then adopted a rural school in Johannesburg, and we designed an educator and learner support program where I trained the educator on a weekend, and in the week our tutors are in class with them just to support them. So instead of them being one teacher to 40 students, it's 4 educators or facilitators to 40 students. So we have a 1-to-10 ratio, and we really had great results from that. That was Merrill Lynch, was our other client, and then from that it was just a great experience, because I remember I sat down with my accountant and she said to us, you know what, if just from the one project, you guys made a 70% profit. So from all the money that we got, we only used 30% of the money to run the program. The rest, the 70%, was our money. And that was just one of the best business decisions we'd ever made. But then, come to 2012, a lot really happened in 2012. Number one is that I then got nominated to be part of another youth conference called, my business partner and I actually, called Preparing Global Leaders Academy, which is in Jordan. So we then got sponsorship and we went off to Jordan, and we were the only South Africans to represent South Africa, and actually the only Southern Africans. I think there were only 4 Africans in that year. But we really learned a lot, and it started opening up my mind to all the things I could go into. But it started also making me think that as much as I love business, I really love giving back more than anything. A lot of what I do is to give back and change lives, and that's why I call myself an impact entrepreneur more than anything else. So I started having a lot of political interest, and one of my future interests is actually to be the Minister of Education in this country. But once I've made all my money in business, so that I don't have to be implicated in any scandals, right? So then after that, what happened is that we came back, And we started putting our big business together, our big business plan. Aislinn, my business partner, then got an opportunity to go start finish off her MBA rather in Reading in the UK, and she had to leave. But consequently, about 2 weeks later, I got an opportunity to start a mini MBA at an institution called the Goldman Sachs. The Gibbs. Have you guys ever heard of Gibbs? It's actually, it's in Johannesburg, but it was a program called, have you guys ever heard of Goldman Sachs? It's a big firm in the US. He has. So Goldman Sachs made a lot of money, and what he did is that he wanted to give back to 10,000 women around the world, women entrepreneurs, to cultivate their careers and their businesses. And I was one of the people who received that scholarship. I was the last 50 in the world out of the 10,000 to receive it. I was one of the youngest in the world to get it as well, in my 20s. I'm still busy with it right now. In my class, I'm surrounded by people in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s even. I'm one of the youngest, and they come up to me and they say, oh, I don't have a Twitter account, I don't have a Facebook account, can you set up one for me? But it's really taught me how to learn from people who are older than me, but it's also showed me the potential of my business, that if they could choose someone as young as I am to get that scholarship, that means there's really potential in what I do. So that was one of the greatest things that happened last year. But then I got chosen as one of the top, I don't know if you guys heard of the Mail and Guardian, top 200? Yeah. So I made the Mail and Guardian top 200 young South Africans to look out for in 2013 in the education sector. So in other words, what they do, they go all around South Africa and they go and they research young people who are doing great things. And I was identified as one of those young people who do great things in South Africa in the education sector. Because I'm also director of a non-profit called the Dad Fund. And what we do there is that we focus on programs for young people. Right now, our flagship program is called Dream Girls International. And what we do is that we adopt young girls from disadvantaged schools and communities, and we get them funding to study further and to get learnerships. But the main objective of the program is to make sure that they study further after matric. So we started off in Johannesburg. Now we have Johannesburg, we have one in Cape Town, and we have one in Polokwane in Limpopo. And that's what I do in between everything. But then come this year, what happened is that I then got an opportunity from another company that we met in 2012. We actually had a meeting with them. And when we met with them, within 5 minutes, the CEO of that company said to us, I want to buy your company for 5 million rand on the spot. It was enticing. I've never had 1 million in my hand. And I was like, 5 million rand? Whoa, the amount of stuff I can do with 5 million rand. I was ready right then and there to sell. But then Aislinn and I went back home and I was like, if this guy wants to buy our company for 5 million rand, and everyone keeps telling us about the potential of our business, it's going to be worth more in a few years' time, and we really want to kick ourselves. So we declined, and we rather said, let's rather do projects together. So whatever projects you think that we could go for, you could outsource us. And we started working together in that way. But then this year, then they approached me to come and consult with them as a consultancy more on the corporate sales. And then I thought, can I actually fit one more thing into my hectic schedule? And guess what? I took it on. Because I really think there's so many opportunities, you can't really not do what's given to you. So right now, what I do is I run Mathemaniacs, I run the Dad Fund with Dream Girls, and I work for this company. In conjunction with that, actually, I'm also part of the World Economic Forum, a hub that's called the Global Shapers. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. You've heard of the World Economic Forum, right? WEF. So Global Shapers, what it does is it identifies young people from around the world, and they pick them to come join different hubs around. So I'm part of the Joburg hub. There's a Cape Town hub. There's a hub everywhere. There's a UK hub. There's everywhere. Every city has a hub. And they identify young people and they actually invite them on to be part of the Global Shapers. And what you do is you come up with ideas to actually eradicate anything that's of main interest in your country. So in my experience, I'm always based in education, so I want to come up with projects that will improve the education system in our country. But it's really a great opportunity for me to start interacting with young people around the world and see what great ideas they have to alleviate their country as well. So that's one of the things that I do, the one of many. But really, I think Jeff sent me here to come give you a talk about how you can take your math studies, so to say, to another level. Because a lot of you, I actually don't know what a lot of you want to go. Do some of you want to tell me what you want to go into after graduating from here? What do you want to go into? I put you on the spot, eh? So you want to work in academics, okay? Who else wants to work in academics here? Don't be shy, like put up your hand. It's okay. You want to? See, who else? I know there's more of you. She wants to. He wants to. So they're all coming out. She wants to. And what are the rest? Okay, what do you want to do in the white t-shirt, the Ames t-shirt? you don't put up your hand for academics. So I had to choose you. What do you want to do? So you want to go into business? And you?
I want a job from you.
You want a job from me? I don't know. It's enticing. But I think you, how's that? You're going to be more qualified than I am. But it's a good thing because you know what they always say. Get more qualified people to work for you so that it works well that way, right? So you want a job from me. So you should send me your CV. Who else? I think I might just have an Ames branch, Mathemaniacs Ames branch here. And what do you want to do in the black and white? So, the engineer, what do you want to do? Who's an engineer? No one. Okay, what do you want to do slouching there?
No, I haven't decided, but I'm probably going into finance.
Into finance? Okay. And you've been smiling ever since I got here. So, I want to know what you want to do. Fashion. Oh, wow. Oh, that's very interesting, actually. I like that. I don't even know of a mathematician who's in fashion. So see, you can then like join me on the odd mathematicians who just do their own thing, hey? So see, and so that's what Jeff wanted. He wanted me to tell you about all the opportunities that are available in the space. Because a lot of times people think if you're a mathematician, then either you have to go into, I thought I had to go into academics. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. We need people in academics. But I thought really I had to go into academics or I had to go work for someone. But I then realized that there's so much more I can do out of my love for maths. And I love maths so much that I wanted to actually, I always say I want to transfer my love for maths onto other people. So I took a small, whenever people ask me, people don't know what I do most times because apparently I don't look like a mathematician. I don't know how they're supposed to look, but I don't look like one apparently. And my personality as well is not like one because people tend to think mathematicians are introverts. They're to themselves. How many of you are introverts here? To themselves. You are. See, so the rest of you, are you all extroverts? Are you out there loud? Are you? You don't know if you are or not. Sometimes. See, I'm just this ball of energy. Every time I walk in somewhere, they'll know I'm here. I just can't help it. I'm like that. I can't help it. I'm just like, hey, I'm here. And everyone, it's so weird because the first time, I'll tell you about the first time I came here to meet Jeff. I actually found Ames online about 2 years ago. I had one of those insomniac nights where I couldn't sleep and I just went online just researching on stuff. And I found Ames and I sent a mail and I said, oh, this is so great. I see that you have this. I didn't know about it, but I think I should come in and meet you. You need to meet me. You need to meet me. I said to Jeff, you need to meet me because I'm not your normal mathematician. You need to meet me. And I sent it and he actually contacted me and said, oh, wow, I went on the net and I found some stuff about you. You're actually not your normal mathematician, so can we meet up? So my next trip in Cape Town, I came here and I came with my business partner, Ezen, to meet Jeff. So then I introduced myself. Ezen is more the introvert in our partnership is a relationship because it really is like that. So she's more the introvert and I'm more the one who's, and he thought that she was the mathematician and I was the marketing person. Because I was the one who couldn't stop talking and I was so bubbly and I went up to him and like, oh, hi, how are you? And because Jeff is also very much laid back, he was just like taken aback by my personality, like, whoa, where did she come from? And here I was already like, oh, this is great, tell me more about this place. And Ezen was just there, so he was like, oh, okay, I reckon she's the mathematician, you're the marketing person. I was like, I'm the mathematician, she's the marketing person. And he just couldn't understand how it happened. He said, I really can't understand how your personality is like this and you're in the maths field. But I've always been like that, even at school, at varsity. I was just that girl who just walked in. I was so super energetic and everyone else just wanted to work and do things. And it's like, guys, life's too short. Let's just have fun and then we'll do this. And I just couldn't help it. But I really think that my personality is one of the things that got me ahead in my career. Because people just couldn't put the two together. And now, I'm just that girl, every time someone says like, oh yeah, you're that mathematician, hey. Yeah, no, that's so cool. But because they didn't really picture me to be that, you know. I have friends who, I had a friend for a very long time, and he didn't know what I did for a living. And the other day when we were talking, and I said, oh, I'm actually a mathematician. He was like, oh, please, whatever. I was like, actually, I am. And he couldn't believe it because he really didn't think I was that person. So it's really to show you that you have a world, really, so many opportunities. And one of my slides, let me check if my slides are here, because I actually have some good reasons why. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. I have some good reasons why mathematicians make better entrepreneurs, for those who want to be entrepreneurs. Okay. See, and that's another thing. People think, because when you're a mathematician, everything is like super organized. Are you guys super organized? Because I'm not. That's another thing. I don't fall into that category. I'm not super organized and everything. Like, I have my things all over, but I know where they are. Hey, everyone knows where they are. But just also to tell you, we'll probably just a bit go through my presentation. Because I can't go through all the efforts of putting this together and for you guys not to see it, eh? It would be a waste. But in the end, I'll open it up to any questions. You guys can ask me just about anything, eh? My life is really an open book. Oh, how old am I? That question is not, it's one of the questions that you can't ask. But actually, maybe we'll play a little game and then we can all guess how old I am, hey? Because I haven't given you any timelines. Because I know you guys are good with the numbers. You would have figured it out already. Oh, let me get that. So now, you two can't tell. Let's let everybody else guess. So you two can't tell. So, and we let everybody else guess, right? Let's read what they said here. Okay, they're actually quite wrong, but anyways. Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, so he's still busy with that. I'm just so excited now because I can show my presentation, so I'm just going to wait for it. Okay. Well, I'm just going to tell you what Mr. Groenewald told me so that you guys don't think I've got sloppy work. Some of these fonts won't show because I was working on a different laptop. So don't judge me and think she didn't make a good effort and didn't take the picture down, okay? Okay, so I went and I researched. I've always wanted to know what other famous mathematicians actually do, right? Besides being academics and doing other stuff. And I actually only could find this guy. Well, this guy's pretty rich because he's a co-founder of Google, right? But I've always wanted to know, and every time I always go online, I think, let me find some mathematicians who do great. There's not that many. So it also gives us an opportunity to go out there and do great things. So you could be that mathematician turned fashion guru. No, she's looking at me like, And then that's me. I know I look different, eh? No, it was like, is that you? That is me. So really, that's me. I'm the founder and CEO of Mathemaniacs. I have a BSc Mathematics and Chemistry and currently studying for, oh, I forgot that. I'm actually currently also studying for my second degree in mathematical statistics. That I've always wanted to go into stats, but then when the opportunity came around for me to do a business course now with Gibbs for the mini MBA, I'm starting to think, I wonder what I'm going to do with a math stats degree now, you know? So it's really got me thinking though, but one of my things to do is that in the next 2 years, I've put a deadline that I really want to go off to MIT to study for an MBA, but I want to major in science and innovation. That's little me, and this is where it all began, in primary school, and I started liking numbers. I've always been cute, eh? You guys are the most, like, you guys are the most, what can I say? Almost not quite, but emotionless audience I've had. Every time I pop this picture up, everyone's like, oh, I didn't get an R from you guys. So I had to say to myself that I'm cute. Every time I'm like, I always get an oh, that's so cute. And I got nothing from you guys. So then, that's my business, that's my baby, and Mathemaniacs, crazy about maths. Everyone always asks me, where did this name come from? Have you guys ever heard of the Animaniacs? The cartoons? I love the Animaniacs so much, but I thought I'm crazy about maths, so I'm going to name my business Mathemaniacs. And it's quite catchy because people like it. That's me when I came second at the competition.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. Wrong moment, but thank you. And then that's myself and S. So this was actually a photo shoot about 2 years ago. S and I were named by Imbo magazine Young Women Entrepreneurs of the Year. So they went and they looked at all the young businesses, all the young people, women who had businesses around the country, and we were named Young Women Entrepreneurs of the Year.
Is that Miss Maya?
Is that?
Miss Maya.
Is that a smile?
Miss Maya.
Miss Maya, this one.
Yeah.
No, that's my business partner, Eslyn Barnes. Who's Miss Maya?
Yeah, the chick from Generations.
Oh, okay. I'll tell her tonight that you think she looks like a girl from Generations. Oh, okay. I hope she's a good character. Okay, and that's just like one of our flags that we had for all the stuff that we do and all our camps and all the fun things we do. But I've already told you about that. So just to go through some of the achievements. We were, in 2012, we were named top 25 by the SAP Innovation Foundation Awards for just our innovative teaching methods and the way we go about teaching. And then we were also the winner of the Media 24 Space to Grow competition. We actually got R1 million worth of advertising. We didn't get hardcore cash, it was just R1 million worth of advertising. When we got this prize and I told my family, they all went crazy because they thought I had R1 million. And I said, no, worth of advertising. I had to actually highlight that part. And then we got Imbo magazine Young Female Entrepreneurs of the Year in 2012. And then we were the only female SMME to be featured in the Shanduka Group annual report. And then we got third best performing business by the Shanduka Black Umbrellas Regional Awards in Johannesburg. And really there's so many updates, and right now I think we also got 400,000 worth of advertising on Jacaranda FM. We got about a week ago, so I'm still trying to comprehend it. But we've gotten so many awards over the years that it's actually helped to grow our business. And every time someone asks me, did you guys get a loan from a business? We never had to get a loan from our business, not at this point. But because all the stuff that we've worked so hard that some of the stuff that we've gotten have been prizes from time to time. And have been stuff that we've made money, we've invested it back into business, made more, invested it back. But we've also had a lot of challenges. I mean, last year, this time, March, we are actually at a point where we were going bankrupt and we were considering closing down the business because we had no money. We were expecting a lot of money to come through from a potential client, and that client pulled out at the last minute, and we had no money. We had to downsize, we had to actually stop operating from an office and move. We all started working from home so that we could save cost on that. We had to stop on some of our full-time staff, and we started from scratch again. It was one of the hardest moments ever. I remember I was so stressed. I went home and I cried, and I was like, what am I going to do now? Because this was my business, this was my life. Before this, I'd never been in corporate, right guys? I went straight from university and I started a business. So I couldn't even say, oh, maybe I can go back to a full-time job. I didn't have that experience, and I didn't have that to fall back on. I remember I had a talk with Eslyn, and I said, you know what, things aren't good right now, but we're gonna come right. We're gonna come right. Because even though I was scared at that moment, but I couldn't show it to her because then it would also make her panic. It would make everyone panic. So I just went into auto mode and we started working. Come April, we got a big contract from Merrill Lynch, and our company was back up and running again. So that's just one of the articles we had. And then that's Mail and Guardian, top 200 2013. You can go on their website and you can read the story of the article that they had on me. And that's the World Economic Forum Global Shapers Community. And just like the future of Mathemanics, a lot of people ask me, so what's in it for you now? You're in your 20s, you already have a business, what do you want to do with it now? And really there's so much more I want to do. What did you say? What did you say? Well, you don't know the exact. We all know there's like early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, you know. So we'll guess afterwards. And a lot of people ask me, so what now? What's in the future for you and for Mathemaniacs? And I really think, like, for me, Mathemanics is only at its infant phase. There's so much possibility and opportunity for it. But right now, I really want us to take it and do more corporate, I almost said events. Sure, that's what happens when you network a lot. But more corporate business and more tenders. I'm at a point now where we're moving slowly but surely away from private tutoring and we're going into only doing corporate and government business only. And that's the point I wanted to be at. I want to be at a point where I have a business and I can still travel around the world, do my own things, but I know that money's still coming in. And that's I think for me, that's the beautiful part about having a business, that you can be anywhere, but as long as you have the right measures in place, your business will still continue running. And right now, that's where we're trying to get the business. So when Essen comes back, she's busy working on a thesis now. And part of her thesis is really about taking mathematics to another level. And we've had talks about creating an app for our business, where people can just log on and book anything they want from us, our services. So that's one of the platforms where we want to take it. We're also looking at taking it onto e-learning, because we all know e-learning is really a big thing right now. So I have really big plans for it, but the one thing I've always said is that I've never wanted to own it forever. I've never been that person who wants to own a business forever. I guess I can be classified at that maybe in the future as a serial entrepreneur. So I really like starting businesses, growing them, selling them, and moving on. So my thing is that in the next 2 to 3 years, I actually want to sell off the business and just remain as shareholders. And our next business venture that we've spoken about is to get into energy, because that's where Africa's going, you know. And that's one of the things I want to tell you. When you think of a business, it's so easy to say I want to have a business, but of doing what? Really do your research, but also really start a business that's going to impact people, because it fulfills you more. But that's going to also solve a problem, and especially in Africa, a social problem, because you know, I don't know where but I always say that the only way to get Africa out of poverty and to make our continent greater in terms of our economy is through social entrepreneurship. Because social entrepreneurs, what they do is that they identify a problem and they see a business solution out of that. While other business people can say, oh, well, oh man, I see my friend has a business doing something else and I want to go into that. Do you want to venture into that? Fine, that's fine. But social entrepreneurs really do that. And that's one thing I can actually leave you with, is that when you start a business, I would really urge you guys to start a business in social entrepreneurship or impact entrepreneurship, because that's where the money is going to come from. And so start thinking about that. For those of you who want to be business people in the future, start thinking about what can I do necessarily to really be a business person, because there's so many things you can do, but only certain businesses will make it through, right? And maybe, who knows, gentlemen over there, I might be coming for a job from you. I might be coming for a job from you. Because you said you wanted a job from me. So maybe if you start your own thing, I might just come knocking at your door and be the investor.
For now.
For now, okay. Okay, for now, okay. And the future for me is to play an active role on the African Youth Panel. So right now, I'm part of the African Youth Panel, and I want to start playing a more active role on that. That's one of the things I actually am part of that I forgot to tell you. I want to create an exchange program for young aspiring high school mathematicians to go to Asia. So I want to actually take young South Africans from South Africa to take them over to Asia and bring young Asians to South Africa to have an exchange program of some sort, so they can start exchanging ideas. I have a TV show. Well, I've actually have put it on hold for some time, but I have a TV show on the DSTV channel Mindset. I haven't done it for a while, but it's called Teacher Talk, and it's a platform for teachers to exchange ideas and to just learn from each other. And then I want to attend more international summits to play my role as a change maker in Africa, encouraging corporates to invest in mathematics education in Africa as a whole. So a lot of corporates, what they do is that they want to give off their money, but some of them will just say, we want to come to Ames and paint the walls orange, and then that's it, right? And so part of my main mission is that I actually go around to corporates and I say to them, instead of investing in painting a school or giving them soccer balls, why not invest in a sustainable project where you can actually invest in their education in terms of math and science education, and then these kids will then go off to university. They pay for their university fees, and after that, these kids will then go off to university and study a STEM degree, which is science, technology, engineering, or maths. And then these new kids can come back and work for that corporate, which is actually, for me, it's like the most exciting part of it. Where if you can take a rural child who had never thought of going to university, and then they go all the way to university and graduate and come back and work for that corporate, and they start investing into other people's lives. So that's the one project that I go around and I sell to corporates, is that they must start investing in that. Some corporates have bought it and they love it. Some love the idea of it, but they're still getting there. And it's not a thing that will come together in a day, in a month. It may take years even. But for me, if I could say I'm a successful entrepreneur, that's where I'd want to be. I want to actually say I've impacted so many lives, and those people have gone back into their communities and impacted more lives. Okay, now why mathematicians make better entrepreneurs. Mathematicians are problem solvers. You guys saw how I solved my problem with my slides, right? It was sorted out just like that. That was a problem, and I solved it. Huh? What did you say? Mr. Groenewald, I assisted him. I said, do this, do that. I assisted him. Remember, that's also quite the perks of being the boss. You do that, and then you take the credit. I'm just joking, guys. Bosses work hard. Okay, where am I now? And business is all about solving problems. Business is all about solving problems, And people think because you have your own business, you have your time to do things. I think I have times where family can just call me at 11 and like, oh, my aunt sent me an email the other day, and said, do you want to do lunch at 11? I'm knocking off work early this Friday. And I looked at her and I was like, is she serious? Just because I work for myself doesn't mean I can just pack my stuff and go anytime I feel like having lunch. Because it doesn't really work that way. A lot of times when people work 9 to 5 or work for someone, I see it with my friends. On a Friday, they can close their laptop and they go home and they enjoy their weekend. And they open their laptops again on Monday. It doesn't happen for me. I work all the time. There's never a moment where I don't work. But I also think because I love what I do so much, I can work anytime. I literally work during the day, at night. And if any of you are on social media, you can go on to, I'm most active on Twitter and Instagram, but you'll see all the stuff I'll usually put up. At one point, I remember I had 4 laptops. I had 3 laptops and an iPad on my bed, and I was trying to do all these things at once. Because it really is like that. When you work for yourself, how it works that, you're not guaranteed a paycheck at the end of the month, so you have to work to get that paycheck. So it's literally trying to do everything. And also right now, I'm the boss, I'm the marketing person, I'm the person who goes out and writes proposals, I'm also the person who really, you're the finance person, you do everything. But it's taught me to just multitask. It's really taught me to multitask. There's times where I don't sleep for good 48 hours because I'm trying to put something together and I have to present it the next day. And when I walk into a client's office, they expect to see me looking fabulous. They don't want to see me so tired, like, oh gosh, I haven't slept, I don't know what to do. They want to see a confident person, right? Because they want to know that they're investing in someone that they can really rely on. So at the end of the day, when you walk in, you've got to have it all together. And sometimes after that, I have to go off and I have to assist on a project with students because I still do the whole. I still work with students a lot. So when I walk into a classroom with my facilitators, they want to see me all together, right? They want to see everything that's put together. They want to see that I know everything that's happening and I've sent them all the work. So it's one of the hardest jobs ever, but it's also one of the most fulfilling. So if you want to be an entrepreneur because you want to be your own boss, it's not going to work. You're not actually your own boss. Your clients are your boss. And your clients are the ones that demand results. So if clients call you at 1 o'clock in the morning and they say, oh, this has come up and we want you to put this together, do you think you can say, I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping, I'll do it when I wake up. Or if they call me today, I'm like, I'm in Cape Town right now. I'm on a mini holiday. I'll send it on Monday when I go back to work. They wanted to come together. There's times where we've cancelled stuff, my business partner and I, because we had to deliver results. And it really works like that. You really, when you make a decision to be an entrepreneur, you must really be ready for it. You must be ready for the late nights, to cut out time from your friends, from your loved ones. But really, when you have the right support structure, you'll be able to do it. I think we're so fortunate that my family is very supportive. Her family is also very supportive. Even with her away, her family's been very supportive and helping me out. So you really need a good support structure. And obviously your family has to be very supportive, because when you're not making money for the first few months, you're going to rely on them, right? So you really need a supportive family. Mathematicians have developed the skill to think analytically and out of the box. Some of the ideas that mathematicians come out with are so fascinating. I always think, who thinks of that, you know? I mean, there's a story I read the other day, and there was a guy who thought of a game, and I thought, who thinks of that? Like, some people have time to just think of stuff. But then I was that girl who came up with a game for one of our clients, and they were like, who thinks of that? You know, but because when you love something, when you love something so much, I almost said someone, that's how much I love my business. But if you love something so much, you really can't stop thinking about it. Statistics is used in everyday business and economics. That is so true. I use statistics to make decisions, business decisions at the moment. I was in a meeting and somebody was like, what should we do? And I started doing a probability tree. And they're looking at me like, what's up with this girl? And I said, just hold on. I'm going to get to the right probability of why we should do this. And they just couldn't understand, but that's the only way I know how to think. Mathematicians have the ability to predict market trends. Most importantly, mathematicians always know that there is no right or wrong way, and hence can always spot a business opportunity, right? I don't know yes or no. For me, I can always do something. There's been times where things are impossible. So with Dream Goals, I work with a group of phenomenal young women who are my friends to run the program. And there's times where there's one who really, she's very analytical. And everything has to go according to plan, and she has a timeline for everything. And me being the person I am, I don't have a timeline for anything. And it always drives her mad that I can call her an hour before. I'm like, you know what, I think we should change the schedule and we should do this now. And she's like, no, we can't work like that, Batu. It doesn't work like this, it doesn't. But it's just the way I am. There's no yes or no, there's no right or wrong way. And at the end of the day, it always comes together. And then she looks at me and she's like, I don't know how you do it, but it always comes together, and I'm always very calm. That's one thing I've learned, is just to remain calm. I never panic, even in the worst of states. She would be panicking, saying, I can't do this, this person is not picking up. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, let's just relax. There's always another way to do it. And it comes together at the end of the day. Mathematicians can turn anything into a business. And really, this really shows, because who would have thought that I would take my love for maths and make a profitable business out of it and love what I do? So I just want to end off with this quote. Being able to touch so many people through my businesses and make money while doing it is a huge blessing. And that was a quote by Magic Johnson, which we all know, right? You all know Magic Johnson? Okay, maybe not, but Magic Johnson, he's a basketball player. So just to end on things, passion always pays off. Always do what you love. You know, I think there's a very nice, one of my favorite songs, it's a pity I don't have it here. I would have spiced things up and played it. But it really says, love what you do and do what you love. And it really sums it all up for me. It's by a Tribe Called Quest. Yeah. And that's it. There, thank you. And these are all my contact details. Oh, I might have to just edit that. Maybe I'll write it on here. It didn't come out my whole email address. There. And yeah, thank you guys. questions? Okay, maybe let's guess first how old I am. Anyone who gets it right can get her banana. That's the only thing I can offer. I didn't bring any sweets. Come, except for you, of course. 29. Am I that old? 25. I'm flattered. 27? 38. Oh, I was like, 38, really? 28. Okay. What did you say? 41. Oh my word. Really? So that little that picture of myself there was taken like what? In the 80s? Really? Okay. Well, I'm actually 29. Yeah. I don't look 29, right? Please say yes. I like being flattered. Okay. Okay, ask me.
Are you married?
No, I'm not. That question always comes up with the males. Always comes up. Even so, I also give talks around at schools, like high schools. And every time, even the high school boys be like, "Are you married?" And I'm like, "No." And then the next question is, "Can you be my date for matric dance?" And I'm like, "No." So thank God you're not in matric, so I can't be a date for anything. Unless if Ames has a ball. Any questions, guys? Seriously, you can ask me anything. Have I said that much?
You seem so busy, like the things that you mentioned. Do you have like social time?
I do actually. I'm also fortunate that all the stuff I do is very social as well. He's like, whatever. He's like, you should have seen him, he's like, whatever. No, actually there are. So, for instance, like Dream Goals. I'm here in Cape Town actually because we have a workshop on Sunday in Stellenbosch. But, no, in Somerset West, sorry. With Dream Goals, I run it with my friends. So it's time for us also, for me to interact with my friends at the same time, you know. So we're good friends in that we actually all love giving back. But I do actually have a social life. I pencil in my social life somewhere, somehow. And I have time for my friends, my family. I mean, I'm here in Cape Town and I'm doing the jazz on Saturday. So I do try to schedule in some social time. And I've also made a decision to also surround myself with people that I have a lot in common with. So my friends, I have so much in common with them in that they're not mathematicians. No, that's not what I mean. None of my friends are mathematicians, thank God. So that means none of you can be my friends. I'm just joking. So anyhow, how it happens that my friends, they all really are doing well in their respective fields. So I've got a friend who's actually going to write a board to be a lawyer. Eslin is in marketing. I've got a friend who's a coach. I've got really friends who do different things. And I have a friend who's a chef as well. So when we get together, it's very social that we don't speak about work, but we really speak about a lot of things that benefit each other. Because a lot of my friends are starting to be entrepreneurs now. I think I have like 3 friends who've quit work this year to start their own businesses. So we learn a lot from each other in that way, but there's a lot that I get from them as well. I made a decision to only be friends with people I can benefit from. And that in terms of intellectuals, anything that I'm a sponge, I like learning more and more. So I do have a social life, believe it or not. If you're on social media and you follow me on social media, you'll see that I do have a social life. I hope I haven't turned anyone off now. You're thinking, like that guy, he's like, whatever. I'd rather be an academic and do something else. Any other questions? Oh yeah, Mr. Smart Guy, you have a question.
Okay, I heard that someone approached you with 5 million offer for a business and you refused it. So how much do you think your business is worth now?
I don't know actually, it's an interesting question. I should get it evaluated. But I'm definitely not at a point where I want to sell it though. So it would be interesting to know how much it's worth. Hopefully it's not that tempting where I just sell it and I go. So yeah, it will be very interesting to know. You know, because I think also when they evaluate your business as a whole. Yeah.
Another question. I'm not sure if I heard you correctly say your business is still private.
It's still?
Still private.
Oh no, I said it's moving away from private tutoring to doing other types of services.
Is it a public business?
Yeah, it's a CC. It's a for-profit.
So I can buy shares?
Yeah, so you can buy shares, yeah. So oh, is that why you wanted to know how much it's worth? So you can buy shares. See, now I'm in a business meeting. There's a guy who wants to be employed, there's a guy who wants to buy shares.
So it's listed in the stock market.
No, definitely not. It's not at that point. No.
So I understand that you have supportive family and supportive friends, but is the community stopping you at any point saying that you're a woman, you shouldn't do this or anything?
Not necessarily the community, but I mean, I've been in meetings with people who thought, so a lot of times I've been in a meeting where I've set up a meeting over email and we've spoken over the phone, and people don't know, okay, they'll know I'm female, but they won't know how young I am. And we'll walk in, and Ezen is shorter than I am. She's about this short. She's gonna kill me for telling people how short she is, but she's very short. So every time we walk in, and then they're like, okay, who are you guys? And I'm like, no. Or when we have a project at a school, because usually then I'll be in jeans and a top. And then I'll also seem to be one of the facilitators. And then I go up, I'm like, no, I'm actually the CEO. And some people have really been sort of resistant in saying, oh gosh, but you guys are too young, what do you guys know, you know? A lot of times that's happened actually. Very recently, I'm not going to name any names because, yeah, it's very connected to our industry. And yeah, it would kill them or me, or whoever dies first. But anyhow, what happened is that I can't even say a lot of things right now, but there's going to be a big event that's going to happen here in South Africa. And there's one of our corporate clients wanted us to be involved because we've had a good relationship. So they went up and spoke to those people who they'd given money to and said, we actually want them to be involved. And when we had a meeting, when I walked in, this lady was like, it's just a kid, you know? And I felt like they weren't giving me the respect I deserved, you know? And so when we walked out, what they tried doing is that they tried almost taking the business away and working exclusively with them, and for them to stop working with us. But what happens is that our client then went up to them and said, actually, we want to work with Mathemaniacs, we want to work with Mmabatho, and if you don't want to work with them, then we don't want to do business with you at all. And they then said, okay, fine, we'll work with them, but they were still very resistant. And what I can say right now is that client has stopped working with them and they're working exclusively with us now. You know, and they've forgotten that we young, we still new in the industry, but because we've proven ourselves. So in terms of a community, there's been times, and I mean there's some male counterparts here, but there's also been times from males where they've sent me an email and said, can we meet up for a meeting? And I come in, it's a meeting in my head, right? But when I get there, it's like a date. And they speak nothing. Oh wow, is it funny? Yeah. Okay. So then when I get there, this guy says nothing about business, nothing. And more social about me, like, also, what do you like? Or so, no, and I'm like, okay. And I keep trying to bring the conversation back to business, but it's like, no, you know, they're not interested. So there'll be times where people do that, you know. There'll be times where people do that, but you've just got to really be strict with yourself and be like, this is who I am. And the more and more you firm, they'll start understanding who you are. But in terms of the community when we were in Zim, because it was a rural community, we were young kids. They thought we were very young. And so how it works in rural communities is that you have to first consult the chief before you can do any business. So the chief flew up to Joburg and we presented to him and he was very impressed, and then he said, okay, you must come down to Wangi. We went down the second time, and I think being modernized young girls, and we just thought, oh, this is fine. And it's very hot in Zim. It was 40 degrees. So we were there in our sneakers and our shorts and we were going to go out. And so first of all, we had to go fetch another lady. And the husband was like, oh, you can't go see the chief looking like that. And it was just having to adjust to all the different environments. But then with also the chief, it was about also giving people the level of respect that they deserve. Always research on everyone that you do business with, because you need to interact with people differently. How I interact with you guys is different from how I interact with other people, right? I mean, I'm still bubbly, but I probably like throw different jokes, you know? I've seen how you guys appreciate my jokes, thank you. So you interact differently with people, you know, but you've really got to work on yourself and do your job so well that people will give you the respect you deserve. But you can't expect to get respect the first time. It's going to be very hard in the beginning. You know, why is it very difficult in your country?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it because you're a woman?
Yeah, you get, it's very difficult to respect a businesswoman. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even in this country, it's gotten better, you know. But it's very difficult for them to respect you as a woman, number one, and two, if you're young. So you have those challenges. Any other questions? Let me know if I'm going over time. I love speaking. Is that it from everyone? Oh, there? Okay, and then I'll come back to you.
Can you scroll back to your previous slides?
Okay, which one exactly?
Yeah, I will say
The one with my picture,
No,
the kid.
no.
Oh, man. I thought you wanted to see that one again.
No, sorry.
Is it this one there? Oh. Why is it not? Oh,
Oh, okay.
which one?
Yes.
See, I knew you like pictures.
Okay.
Which one?
The guy on the right is here.
You know how everyone asked me? Guys, do you know how everyone asked me about this guy on the right? Everyone asked me about this guy on the right. How old is your question? How old is that guy? Exactly, man. Now, let me tell you something. I get this question all the time. You're not the only person. I get this question all the time. How old is that guy? Is he the teacher or the student? He's the student. He's just very tall. But he's like 17. Yeah, he's just very tall. I get that question all the time. You have a question? Yeah.
It seems like you made it for the mathematics. So what exactly, how did you come up
With the name? Well, Matha was switched for Mathemaniacs. Maniac, which is for mathematics, sorry. Maniacs means someone who's just crazy, hey? So, and I'm crazy about maths. So then I said Mathemaniacs. See, I have a creative side to me. That's one of my proud moments, I know. Yeah? Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Or just stretching and...
Yeah.
Okay.
I see that you are obsessed
Obsessed, yeah.
with making money. Yeah, it's fine. And also, the discussion was just mainly around South Africa, out of Africa. Now, I want to know if you have some ambition for Africa, or have some like a sway of flavor.
If I have a vision...
Yeah.
Yeah. Or to grow.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my ultimate dreams and why I started this is because I actually want to own academies around Africa, maths and science academies. So almost like what AIMS has done here, I want to do it for high school students. So that's my that's always been my biggest dream, and that's one of the things I really wanted to do, was to actually own academies around Africa. And I'm hoping, I'm crossing fingers, I'm not going to reveal way too much, but it's out there and I've put in the universe that actually it might happen sooner than I think.
Do you have some background in education?
The only actual background I got in education was when I was tutoring as a university student. And then from there, I just started liking education so much, I went out and I did my own research. And I started forming networks in education. So that was the one background I had. But now, it's funny actually now that I know so much about education, I always think, gosh, I could be a teacher. There's so much I know about education, because remember when you choose something, when you choose to do something, you've got to make it part of you, hey? You've got to research every single thing about it, because if somebody pops a question up to you, you can't be like, can I Google it quickly? You know, they're not going to really trust you. But I've got no background in education. I mean, I've done some teaching stints. Like, I've taught in schools while I was studying. And as also now, I still do learner support programs where I teach in schools. So that's the one background I have. But I can't really say I've got a teaching diploma or or teaching qualification in any way. Yeah. Hmm?
Then you are currently working on BSc degree in
Yeah.
mathematical statistics. Yeah, kind of maybe for somebody who is already making success into business. Yeah, it's quite understandable when you say, okay, you go into MBA.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised. Why did you really want to do another degree in mathematical statistics? What is motivating about statistics that you don't have special that really will help your business to grow? Right? What was the motivation for that?
Yeah, well, that's a good question because it's funny that you asked me this question. On Monday, somebody asked me the same question. A very close business associate. He said to me, why are you still doing the second degree? Because you more of a business mind than anything, you know? And I, only after he said it, I actually realized how I've moved so much away from being just a mathematician to be more of a business person, just the way I think and the way I operate. I'm always thinking of business opportunities. It's always about money for me. It's really changed, and I enrolled into this degree about 3 years ago, when I still wanted to be a mathematician, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll start a stats company in the future. And now that I've started it, I have to finish it. I'm that kind of person. If I start something, I'm going to finish it. Because I've only got a few months to go, I might as well finish it. But until last year when I got the opportunity to do the Goldman Sachs business course, I really didn't think I had the potential to do an MBA. But because I did so well in this course and that just the way I was thinking, I thought, gosh, I actually would love to do an MBA. And this is something I started thinking about only last year. You know, so a lot of people have asked me that question, that why are you still doing this? And I don't even know where it's going to get me right now, but it will probably help me in some way in the future. I think everything happens for a reason, so we'll see.
So you actually don't have any business ambition doing statistics, sorry.
When I started statistics, I already had the business, but I wanted to do it because I loved stats when I did it as an ancillary course in varsity. And I thought I've always wanted to go back and do it and major in it. And when I did it, I just wanted to do it for the fun of it because I love stats. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll start a stats company in the future. But right now, I don't even know if I want to go into stats. I don't even think so. Maybe I think, but it will help me the way I think. It actually does help me right now. Okay? Is that it?
Your website or something.
Oh, did I not put it there? No, maybe I didn't. Oh, you do it. But I'll write it here anyhow. There.
So let's go to politics small.
Huh?
So let's go to politics small. Politics. You said you are interested in politics.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you want to go to the education sector. Now, what are your ambitions for going to the education sector? What do you think you want to do there specifically if you are there? How much impact you think you will make there?
I think for me, our education system goes without a doubt that it's really battling in some ways, right? So first of all, I don't know if you guys know, but South Africa is rated second last in terms of maths in the world. Second last, and last is Yemen. And who lives in Yemen? They've got a population of like nothing. So, no, it's true. So really, we need to get. My mission is really to get the results back onto great, like really, we need to do some great maths and science results. But another thing is that what I've noticed being in the education sector for a bit now is that a lot of times, the way our schools are run is actually a problem. Because principals don't know how to run a school. If you get into education, you got into it to be an educator, and then you get a promotion and you have to run a school. And running a school is not easy. But one thing that I like is that I really want to infiltrate ways in which principals can learn to run schools like businesses, so that schools can be just profitable on their own, you know. And so many times now we say, oh, schools, we should get free education, but where are we going to get the money from? schools should actually learn to start making their own money so that they can start getting their own things. So many times they send requests up to government, we need new desks, we need textbooks. If schools were more profitable on their own, they would actually be able to afford all the stuff that we want, right? And if principals were equipped with the skills to run a school like a business, schools would be already running efficiently. So that's really one of the things I want to bring my business knowledge into education. Did I answer your question? Because now it seems like you in another planet. Hello? Did I answer your question? Somehow. Okay.
And I will be happy to give you some
some ideas.
consultative advice.
Okay, well, please do. You can drop me an email. Yeah.
So, I just want to ask about the next coming election in South Africa. What are your views? What can you say?
Sure. To tell you my honest opinion, it's going to be this is the one moment, this is going to be my third time I think that I vote, and this is going to be the one moment where I'm not very confident in terms of how the results are going to sway. They could sway in any direction.
What do you think in the future of South Africa after the election?
Sure. I don't really know, but I think it's about time young people start running this country. It's about time where, like old people have been running it and it's been good, but they need to pass on their skills to us. What one of my friends says is intergenerational conversations and relationships, because we're the one people who are going to be around in the next 20 years. So it's going to be interesting. This year's elections, I always say, are going to be very interesting, and I don't know which way they're going to sway. Okay, and my vote is my secret, so don't ask me who I'm voting for. Oh, did you want to ask me? Oh, you nosy bugger. Anything else? I think we're just about done with our 90 minutes almost. Hey. Okay. Well, if some of you, because I didn't get any, I only got one question from the girls, or was it two? Hey. And some of the girls, nothing. You just like smiling at me, hey. That's all. You ask me afterwards.
Okay, are you still managing your legal and financial issues?
Am I still handling them?
Are you still managing them? Are you the manager or
So, well, I mean, I don't handle the financials in terms of putting the books together. We have somebody do that. But in terms of the running of everything else, yeah, I do. In between myself and Ezen, who's away, but mostly just on my own, yeah. I am still managing everything else.
So, like, how many employees do you have?
Well, at the moment, we're on about 25 tutors. Yeah. But isn't I the only full-time employees? So we're the ones who run the business every day. Yeah.
So what's the administrative structure of your team?
So myself, I'm the managing director, Ezen's the marketing director, and then we used to have an operations officer who used to run the operations of the business. So matching up of tutors and students and all of that, and that's why we want to create an app so that we don't have to do that anymore. We could just do it automatically. Okay, we're not that big. We have an office, but we don't have a head office, but we have an office, yeah. Yeah. We have an office, we have, yeah, that kind of, so it's really, we still what's called in this country an SMME, which is a small to medium enterprise. So we don't have like big tall buildings. We're not at that stage. We have an office pretty small, yeah, and that's it.
So how do you manage your accounting, your income?
We have,
How do you set up?
yeah. So Ezen's mom is actually used to be a bookkeeper and she's retired, so she handles everything there. She handles everything, and I think we're so fortunate and blessed to have that. So she knows what needs to be done, who needs to be paid, who didn't get paid, who still owes us. She handles that. But at the end of the day, she tells me, and then I sometimes have to run after them, or sometimes she runs after them.
I was like, is there like a central like bank account?
Yeah, we have a bank account. We have, I mean, in this country, if you have a, why, do you want to rob me? do you want to hack our account?
No. The issue is, since you have many tutors, I don't know how you
your interactions take place? You have any tutors who go to maybe to
Yeah, two different. So how it works? Okay.
So when at the end of the month, say
Yeah.
the parent is paying in,
Yeah.
does it pay online directly to your account or how?
So what we have is that our tutors have a register, and every time they go out to see a student, they let the student sign, and they say what they did, how many hours, and all of that. And then at the end of the month, they then have to email that to us, and then I take that and I put into an invoice for the parent, and the parent then will see the invoice, and if it matches up with what the student says, then they're paid, and then we pay the tutor. Yeah. Also, that's what you were trying to ask me. Yeah. So, no, we have all those systems in order. Even with our clients, they know we have certain payment periods. With some clients, it will be they pay us upfront. Some clients they pay us 25% before the project starts, 50% in the middle of the project, and 25% when the project's done. Yeah. So it all varies from client to client. Some clients just want to pay you upfront in the beginning, and they just want to know they're done with you. Yeah.
Then in terms of your employees, do you like?
Guys, please don't hate. You don't want to ask questions. He's got questions, brother's got a question, so yeah.
How do you like do it? Do you pay all your employees at the same rate?
No. So obviously the tutors, it will depend how many lessons they did. And then we have so many different projects. The one year we had a project with Mindset, the radio channel, and MTN, where MTN gave money to broadcast science lessons over the radio, and we got that contract. So I remember that year, our tutors were making so much money. I wanted to be a tutor. I was like, I remember I said to Essen one time, we were putting a statement together. I said, geez, one of our tutors at that stage was like 19, and she was taking home over about 15,000 rand. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I want to do this. I didn't make this much money. So it really depends. It all depends on the project, number one, the clients, number two, how much we brought them, how much we got from them. And I mean, for the learner support programs, that is different because they go into the school. So some of them, they have a transport stipend to get petrol to get there, and they also have a salary. Yeah.
What are the main
Okay, I've noted you down there. Yeah.
What are the, like you said last March you had like, it was like a difficult moment for your company. What are some of the main challenges you have faced since you started with your company?
I think for me, it's
how did you?
Yeah, how did I mean, I'm still facing some challenges, you know. And one of the biggest challenges right now is growing my business. I mean, a lot of times, even with my mentor, the first time we met, she said to me, when I read up on you and your business, I thought you have a great business and you're really going to do well. And every time people say that, I just couldn't seem to take all of that and make it come true, you know. And now when I went to the course last year and I started putting together my business plan again, I'm at a stage where I'm starting to implement my business plan. So for me, that's been the toughest part of business. Because you have so many ideas when you put a business together. It's having to make those ideas come true. And sometimes having to come to the reality that some of them won't come true. They're not realistic, or they can't come true now. So that's been one of the challenges. But I mean, another challenge is when you run a business, everything is in your client's hands. So if your client decides today, if say one of my clients, somehow something happens with the stock market and their shares go down and they're not making money, and they decide, you know what, we don't have money, we didn't make a profit. They have to call me and say, we don't make a profit, so we don't know how you're going to get that money. Number two, also working with government. When you work with government, don't expect to get your money tomorrow. It takes 3 months or so. Could take longer. I know somebody who's been waiting for a year. You know, so it's having to think ahead of those times. There's so many times where we've taken money out of our own pockets and our savings to keep the company going because we were still waiting for our check to clear or something. So many times. It happens. Yeah.
I want to ask, who's the biggest clients at the moment?
Our biggest client at the moment is Telkom, and Merrill Lynch, an American bank.
Is the target, like clients the 680.
Yeah, they call government.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they called. Yeah, that's my main target. Yeah. For me, I've always said is that I'll really be at a place and this is also one of the things I'm working towards this year, is to get 3 big contracts and then I stop. I'm not going to get any more. I think there's so much to go around. The pie is really big. I don't like greed. So for me, I've said this year, and I keep saying, I was like, if I get 3 big contracts, I'm not going to go out hunting for more.
And they really want to expand it on the schools, because this is
Yeah.
the way you can best.
Yeah. 'Cause so we work, even though we're based in Gauteng and Joburg, we work nationally with schools, yeah.
And in terms of the tutors, you still hire the graduate students.
Yeah.
And then do you pay them according to their qualifications, or do you pay them according to?
It varies from project to project.
Okay.
So sometimes when it depends, if I get a project then that requires specific type of qualifications, then I'll go through all our database and I'll call those people up. Yeah. Okay. I think this is it. That guy walked out. He was like, hey, you know what? I can't do this anymore.
But this is the longest I've seen them stay